Oh, welcome to the Friday Marketing Jam session. I am your host, Tom Gaddis. I have the co-host with the mostest, Richie Cronin, on the call with me as well. What's up, Richie?
Hey, Tom. How are you? Happy Friday. Hey, the end of another week.
End of another GDM. Does that stand for G'day, mate?
No, but I'm glad you asked. It stands for Global Digital Marketer.
Global Digital Marketer. I like it. Well, hey, listen, we have an amazing show lined up for you today. We're going to be talking about how to build an instant credibility machine, one that positions you as the expert, even if you don't have any clients, experience, or testimonials to back that up. In fact, you don't even need a website. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to show how anybody can position themselves as an expert to start landing clients quickly. We're going to take your questions. We're going to talk about some interesting changes and focus that we're moving towards on the agency side of things. We're going to do some shout outs. We're just going to have an all around fantastic Friday live session. So
yeah,
I'm going to cue the intro. Richie, you fix your hair. Make sure you look nice.
Right. Yeah, I do need a haircut. Yeah.
Let's get back here in one momento.
It's now time, the moment you've been waiting for. Get ready for the fastest 60 minutes of marketing strategies and tactics to build your remote empire from anywhere in the world. After 167 agonizing hours, they've finally returned. From the sun-soaked Sin City and the sandy shores of Maui, Hawaii, now back for a brand new Aloha Marketing Jam session. It's your hosts, the Offline Sharks and Remote Millionaires, Tom Gaddis and Nick Ponte.
We've got to change that to end with the program. Oh, man, this is not bad. Calm down, people. Settle down.
Yeah, people are pretty excited for this Friday.
Oh, yeah, come on. Hey, I'm gonna mute the audience out there. That way we can have them.
Yeah, I think, and of course, the end of a long week. But if you're in the States, it's a long weekend, so that's something to be celebrated.
That's right. Labor Day coming up on Monday, right?
Yeah.
So an extended.
You're gonna be doing, Tom. I'm gonna be working.
Well, it is Labor Day. That's what you're supposed to do, right? Labor. Yeah. Don't you labor on Labor Day? Yeah, it's so funny that you say that because, now that, I have a business and we've got the remote agency and we've got what we do at Offline Sharks, like I just have a very different view of like holidays and things like that. Like some holidays I work, some holidays I don't, but it's not like, for me, it's really just kind of another weekend. What's really nice about the type of business that we're all working to build here in our community is that when you set your business up the way that we've done ours. I mean, I think it's the way that we've done ours. When you set your business up like we've set ours up, then you can pretty much take time off whenever you want, right? As long as your stuff is done.
You can steal an afternoon. You can go and do stuff in the morning if you need to. And but I find I work every day, but that's not because I have
do too, and so does Nick.
I want to, And my wife Mandy, she gets very upset if it's like, especially on a Sunday, and I say, like, I'm just going to pop in the office and do a couple of things, and 2 hours later she's like, come on, we're going. And it's like halfway through something, you're like, you've got to get out the door because you don't mess with that. She's the real boss,
Yep. Well, that's a great point that you bring up there because you will figure out what works for you and what works for her and how to handle that stuff. I know, in the beginning, the thing that I always tell everybody is when you're in the beginning of building something, you just have to expect to not have much time and be working a lot of be focusing on it a lot of the time. I don't know that work is the right word because it's not like, it's not like I'm always working, but I am always thinking about what I'm trying to do, what I've got in the hopper, what I've been working on that day, what I have to work on tomorrow. So, you do have to, that never really goes away, no matter what.
It's always there. And I think, you'd be hard pressed to find a successful person in business who didn't live and breathe it 24/7. Because successful people tend to do that, but that doesn't mean that you spending 20 hours in your office grinding away doing stuff is actually productive. as well. Yeah. So you got to find that balance. And if you don't have time away, you just become, I always call it shop blind. And that's where you don't see things in your own business because you're too entrenched in it. You've got to step back, have some time off, let yourself recharge, all those things to actually be better in your business.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, a big hello to Patty. She's out there. I see Frank the Tank in the house. Edgar, Charlene, welcome everybody. What's up? Glad you guys are all here. You know, Richie, and this will tie into kind of what we're talking about of how to build instant credibility, because this is an important topic, especially when you are just getting started or you don't have a really firm foothold in the market that you're targeting. I recently have been rewatching, because I have Hulu, so I've been rewatching The Undercover Billionaire season 2. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
With Grant Cardone, right?
With Cardone, yeah.
Yeah, and so what's really fascinating about it to me is, you know, obviously they change the way he looks, right? They shave his head. They give him a different name. He's Lewis, whatever the guy's name is. And they drop him in this area with $100, and he's got to like build $1 million business in 90 days. And it was like, it reassured me when I saw the struggle he had to just get some initial traction, right? Like, because he, you always think like, oh, well, gosh, that guy could just make anything work. But like, he struggles in the beginning because he's got no credibility. He's got no authority. He has no connections. He doesn't know anyone. And that's really what we're talking about on today's live show is like, how do we do that? Now, a couple of interesting things about I haven't watched all of the episodes yet, but the few I've watched that kind of relate to him and the other people that are on there. Everyone on that show is great. Elaine, Monique, like just watching the way that they make activity happen out of nothing.
And they accepted the challenge, and they all had a different way of breaking it down. But they got stuck in, and they rolled up their sleeves and got it done, as opposed to I'm just going to stand here and order people to go and do it. And I think everyone really showed that. It was really good.
Yeah. Well, what was interesting to me was, I thought Grant Cardone hit on a really great thing that anyone who's implementing any of our strategies or trying to build an agency should be doing. And that was the one thing he said was like, look, when I go to, he said, stop worrying about how you're going to make money and start worrying about how you're going to get them money. Right? He's like, look, stop worrying about how you're going to get money and start worrying about how to get them money. And like, that is such a key thing for anybody looking. I mean, we're in a service industry, right? Helping businesses.
That's what we do. Yeah, we genuinely help businesses to make more money. That's what digital marketing is across the board. So, it's a really good point. And it's so valid. And I've been talking to a lot of Reach members this week about that very thing. Is that you've got to consider what the customer's seeing and what you're coming with. Now, that doesn't mean you have to have the flashiest website going to be able to sell websites. It doesn't mean you need those things. You just have to have the right attitude and the right patter, as I call it, conversation, and that instantly brings that credibility that the customer's looking for. Because if you're genuine about that and you're genuinely there to help them, they will react to that. And that's exactly what Grant Cardone found in that Undercover Billionaire. Was he met the guy that owned the gym and the bed shop, and he was more interested in helping him achieve what his goals were, as opposed to him winning the show and doing those things.
Well, and what he really did there was he led with value, right? Which the Reach Machine that we've been talking about all last week and this week, which by the way is going to be closing down, I think tonight. But that cold email Reach Machine that we've built out and set up, that thing is specifically designed to lead with value. Right? It's designed to make, and this is where I think, and I saw some people in the Reach School group asking about this, and I'll say this on the live show too, to just really kind of clarify how this works. So we lead with a brand that is not our agency. And why do we do that? Like, why do we do that? Because if we were to go out there guns blazing, like, hey, we're Nick Ponte Marketing, and we have SEO and Facebook, and we've got paid ads, and we can do all this stuff. like the reality of being able to talk to a lot of people is going to be very difficult because business owners especially are getting bombarded by people that are trying to sell them all kinds of things, not
all day, every day. Yeah.
All day, every day. Last thing they want to hear is somebody that calls them up trying to sell them something. So we have a way to come at them not as a marketing agency, but as someone with a local foothold in their community, someone with a presence in their local area, which instantly aligns us with them because we are in their area, right? Like we have a relationship to where they're at and what they're doing. And we're coming at them with some value of giving them exposure in that area, right? So we're not coming at them as a marketing agency. We don't talk about the marketing agency until way down the process, right? Like, because our goal again is to get in, lead with value, and start building that relationship. And what Richie has built out in the Reach cold email machine is a machine that does all the heavy lifting for you, where you basically, you drop the leads in one side. The machine goes through a series of automations that gets people to raise their hand and say, hey, I'm interested. It gets people to, makes them an offer for a paid upgrade. And then what it eventually leads them to is you talking to them one-on-one, either like on a Zoom or where you can sell them additional services, which is really the ultimate goal of anything you do in an agency, right?
We have that really good call to action, which we call the activation call, and that is just the best ever way to present what you do as a business. You've already established credibility and all those things that have gone through it, but it finishes off the process so well. But it actually isn't the finish. It's the finish of the free premium upgrade process, but it's the start of all the other stuff that you do as an agency. And if you do social media, you do websites, whatever it is, right, there's your opportunity to engage in a conversation where someone's actually wanting to hear what you've got to say. So it's a beautiful thing. Tom, just one other point on that is my first time round with the Reach machine, which goes all the way back to 2020, when I sort of started developing the concept and everything else. And I remember the first ever blast that we did, and it was to a town in the North Island of New Zealand. And I think that week I had 5 conversations with people that had taken a free listing, who all asked me the same thing: what else do you do? So I'd actually I didn't know these people. I talked to them on the phone. That was it. I'd sent them a cold email, and they are on the phone with me saying, what else do you do? Because they wanted help with their digital online marketing. They wanted to engage with people who did that. So it was a great tool for getting to that conversation. But as I say, they were coming to me saying, what else do you do? They wanted to know what my services were and what I had to offer. So that's a great thing to have.
And I think what you've built out here and what you get with the Reach machine is such a 180 degrees from what normal prospecting is like. Because let's think about what usually happens when somebody's trying to go out and get a client. So like for me, when I was first starting in the agency and was like, how are we going to get clients? Like I'm out there doing everything I can. I'm going to networking events. I'm like hitting up everybody in my personal network. Do you know anybody that needs help? Do you have this, right? Like I'm sending out, I'm doing direct mail. I'm writing letters, sending out direct mail. I'm doing all of this stuff to just try to get some activity going. And it was difficult because, again, I'm someone just out there trying to sell my services. Like I need to sell websites. I need to sell this. I need to sell that. And it was a struggle. It wasn't until I found something that I could lead with value with that the businesses were like, oh, that's super valuable, that I really started to get traction. But here's what I'm kind of getting at with this with everyone else. What we've built out in the Reach machine is a process that does this. You load in leads. The Reach machine takes them through a series of emails that makes them a value-driven offer. When someone says, yes, I want this free thing you're offering me, and when you get into Reach, we talk about what it is and all that stuff. But when somebody says, yes, I want this free thing, they're now no longer a cold lead. They're actually a hot lead. we've taken a group of people that we have no idea if they're even interested in what we have to say. And we've got a huge section of people to raise their hand and say, yes, I'm interested in this free thing, right? And then it offers to upgrade them to a paid package really inexpensively. The goal with the paid package is not to make money. Our goal is not to get rich selling these premium, these featured business partner packages that we call them. The goal is to build the relationship, the credibility, and have somebody that has paid us money that we can then offer additional things to, right? Because your chances of making a sale are greatly increased when you're dealing with someone who has already paid you some money. Yep. You already have that kind of relationship going. So what happens is, regardless of which path the person takes in the Reach Machine, if they just take the free thing, well, we know they're interested, then we have a strategy that we call the courtesy call. And I want you guys to imagine yourselves doing this, because this really changes the prospecting game for you, because it's important that you have actual conversations with people that can buy your services. So the Reach Machine identifies these people. They say, yes, I want this free thing you're offering. And then a few days after that, you just give them a courtesy call and you say, hey, I'm Tom. I'm with, we'll use Hawaii Thrive as our facing site. I'm with Hawaii Thrive. I just wanted to give you a courtesy call because I saw you took one of our free online profiles. I just want to make sure the team did a great job and set everything up the way you wanted. Do you have a couple of minutes to go over that? And they say, yeah. You say, great. Is all this information correct? I noticed you didn't submit a logo. Would you like to include that? We can do that for free. And then at the end of that call, you can say something like, look, by the way, when the team was setting up your profile, we noticed that your website looks really out of date. Have you thought about bringing it into 2023? Like, is the reason you haven't updated it, is it because of cost? Because I know websites can be very expensive, but we have a special right now where we can get you in a brand new website for, $120 a month. That's one option. So that courtesy call, even though it turns into you making them an offer, there's really no like sales pressure in that call, right? It's a courtesy call. Same thing when someone goes into the paid upgrade and they buy that, then we get them on what's called an activation call, where we go over the things they paid for. So there's a few things that we give them as part of their paid upgrade. They get an upgraded online profile. They get a promo video. They get a Google Business Profile ebook. They get an audit.
An audit. And I think that the audit's the real meat in the sandwich here, because that actually dives into what their online presence is, where the holes are, and you are credible beyond belief. And like you're saying, hey, we found this, this, and this. And you match that up in a summary with some gauges that show the good and the bad for them. And that's, it's a sales call that they've booked with you. And then you go, we can fix this, right? And this for you, and you can close a sale right there and then. It's just genius, and I love it to bits. Actually, I've found one problem with that process, Tom, and I think it's quite a good problem to have, is that I've actually been, and this is something that people do, I've been over-delivering information in those activation calls, and I've been telling too much detail as to what's wrong, and then I'm finding that I'm thinking I've closed a sale, and I send an invoice and they don't pay it. And then sort of 2 weeks later, I sort of follow up and just go, hey, what's going on in that? And you go and look at their online presence and they've gone and fixed everything that you've told them to. So I've given them too much information to complete it. So I think that's something you learn, is what to deliver at what time and what context to put it in. But we're certainly, we have the training and the resources to be able to show you and guide you through that as well. It's not a reason not to do it, because who doesn't want confirmed sales? I mean, that's what this is delivering for you, and that's what you're doing. You're still helping people, even if they do have the ability to go and fix it themselves.
Yeah, well, what's pretty awesome is, like, I was just looking over here in, let me take a look in here. So this is here. I'm going to share my screen real quick with you guys because I want to show you this. And then, so is it Yemi or is it Jaime? How do you say his name? Jaime, I'll answer your question.
I think that's Yemi, yeah.
Yemi, it's Yemi.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the private school group we set up for Reach members. So when you join Reach, you come in here. So one of the things, we've got the celebration part, and this was pretty awesome to see. So this is somebody he's got going through. Where did they go? Big Al, he started when he fired up his reach machine. He got 6 new commitments in the first 45 minutes. Like, I mean, that's amazing. Look at this. I mean, that is crazy. Crazy. 45 minutes in, 6 new commitments. This is just a couple days ago that he did this.
Yeah. Like he's been on fire. He was just crashing through everything last week and just ticking everything off very, very fast. And then this week, bang, he's gone out there and got some solid results right out of the gate.
Yeah, and I've seen tons of people like setting up progress reports, people getting leads in already, which is really awesome to watch. And then I wanted to show you guys this one. Let me find it here. It was Adam. Where is it? This is just like, we were talking about Undercover Billionaire and how you do whatever you need to do to get some attention. And I thought this was really great. Adam had a thing with, where did this go?
Was it back up there? And I think just down a couple.
Hold on, let me look up here. Here we go. I'll find it this way because I was talking to him. So he had this thing on plans to get extra eyes on his community resource website. And I thought this was really a great idea. So his wife's best friend is having a grand opening for her salon, as well as 2 other businesses in their building. So they agreed to let him put out a jar at the grand opening party. And he's going to put a sign on it. And he's going to tell people if they drop their business cards in, they will get a free standard listing on his community resource website. And then he's going to draw 2 lucky people. And he's going to give them a premium partner package, which is a $9.97 value. And him and I were doing some back and forth because this was his initial shot at doing a label to put on the jar. And so I made a few suggestions, and this is what he ended up with, which I think looks so great, right? It's got a QR code, 2 lucky winners, $997. It tells them what's in it. And people just drop their cards in, and then he's going to take and bring them in. Like, what an amazing, just do what you need to do to get some traction, right? And this is awesome because anybody could do this. If you're in an area where there's businesses, you could set one of these jars up anywhere. Just find somebody to let you do it. Yeah, no, Frank, no. So really awesome what he was doing there. But yeah, anyway, I wanted to show you guys that. Pardon me as I cough there. And one of the other things I wanted to kind of talk about as well is, we're talking about credibility and authority. And the Reach Machine builds that up for you by making a free offer. You deliver on the free offer. If they take the paid upgrade, you deliver on the paid upgrade. All the time that builds credibility and authority for you. So by the time you're actually talking to someone, like the relationship, you're so far past cold. Like it's a warm conversation, which is such a different kind of conversation to have. So,
and that's how we refer to them too, Tom. Is that it's a free listing on a community resource site is a warm lead. It's not cold, it's warm, and a premium. A featured business partner upgrade, anyone that spends that amount of money, a small amount of money with you, they're now a hot lead, because you've converted a sale. So so all that fear that people have of like, how do I'm going to charge for this, and then how do I tell them the price, and then they think I have to give it away for nothing, otherwise they're not going to want to do business with me. They've already done business with you. It's all gone away, and you simply focus on doing the job, doing it well, and delivery. And building even more credibility. And then the other thing I've found is that when you get a bunch of them and they know each other and they start interacting together and stuff and that, they'll talk about you, and once that happens, it flows on to much bigger and better things. And then someone's thinking about getting your website, I'll ring that person. And they do, they ring you, and say, hey, can you do this for me? It just works. It works really, really well because that's the best form of networking is actually your customers referring you to other customers.
Yep. Yeah. And, one of the things that I did want to point out to you guys too, because I know we've been talking about Reach for now, it's the end of the second week, but something that we've never done with Reach before is allow people to get in on a flex pay plan. Like, the price is $1,500. The price is the price, right? But we decided, because we had so many people that were like, look, that's just out of reach for me, but I want to be able to set this up, get some consistent prospecting going. Can't you guys, help us out? So we opened up a small number of flex pay plans. And what that means is like, you're going to pay a little more for reach over time. Like you pay more in the long run, but in the short term, you can get in and get a reach machine set up for under $400. So it's pretty amazing, right? Like you can get started for, I think it's $397. You can get started for $397. You're going to make some additional payments over time. It's going to cost you a little more than if you just buy it outright, but you can get in for, an amount of money that anyone who's serious about building their business and getting some consistent prospecting should be able to do. So I'm going to let this link scroll along the bottom of the screen because I want to take some questions. We want to do some shout outs. I want to give you guys an update about what's going on in the agency. So if you're interested in the email reach machine and taking us up on this special offer, again, it closes tonight. So this is your last chance to get in. We have just a few flex pay spots available. Again, you pay more over time, but you can get in for $397 today.
I was kind of hoping it was already closed, Tom, because there's a lot of, there's quite a few people who've come into it, and it's a lot of work.
It's going to be great.
We'd love to have some more because now we're really starting to see those that have come charging in and got on with it and really focused on building their reach machine. They're getting wins already, and they're converting, and that's the speed at which this thing will operate. I think it's really important for people to also understand that this isn't a product. This isn't a normal thing you go and buy when you've got the old shiny object thing and everything else in that. This is a fully fledged, fully automated prospecting machine.
Well, it's a working business system that we built in the agency, right?
It is literally a working business for you that you tie in with the other stuff that you're doing, and it will generate customers for your agency. So this is the tool that actually makes dollars, as opposed to you spend money on it and then one day you open it up and go, oh, I don't know how that works. No, there's no option with that here. You have to get into it and start working on building it out and everything else. And as soon as you've done that, you will have a flow of customers. So it's a game changer for an aspiring or already established agency owner.
Yeah, now I wanted to address this question from Yemi. So he said, can you explain how you value proposition your website hosting for $120 a month when the average it costs Yemi, I'm not like, where can you get a website for $2 to $10 a month? I think you're just talking about the hosting account, right? Well, the value proposition, Yemi, is that we give them a completely built, fully professional website. Like it's not, they're not just buying hosting. Like they're buying, like we're delivering a high quality, fully functional website that normally would cost them anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000 up front, but we deliver it at a monthly rate of $120. So that's how we do that. We're not just selling hosting. Like we're selling them a digital presence for their business. One that looks great.
And that's really important for a lot of businesses that are just in the setup phase and they're getting going. Capital is something that might be limited. In most cases it is. And you turn and go, oh, we've got to spend $5,000 on a website as well. What a great alternative to have exactly the same result and pay $120, $140, $50 a month for it. And you don't have to worry about it. It's done for you. You just pay the bill every month. And of course, it's great from a digital marketer's point of view because you've got their website to look after. They want to do more with it and everything else. And that there's another chance for a sale. And so it's a genius product. RPS, I call it. Yeah.
Revenue profit system. Yeah. So I don't know who this is because you're not showing up. If you give StreamYard permission, I can see who this is, but it says, sorry, late to this game and I haven't checked them for a while. Where can I see the difference between this reach machine and the agent that I'm paying? So I can tell you exactly what the difference is. So Agency Growth Machine is our community resource site software. So that's just the website and the community resource site. Reach Machine is like the entire automated email system to prospect, right? We use the community resource website as our facing brand so that we don't have to go guns blazing as an agency. So we come at them as someone that's in their local area, looking to help local businesses. So the community resource website is our what would you call it?
It's our shop front. I call it the shop front. It's the
like,
shop front to
you
what you're doing, because
your
agency
business
sits in behind it. It's the thing that people look at and make their buying decision on. And the reach machine is the vehicle that gets to those people and comes back to you as well. And it's fully automated. There are 14 or 15 workflows in this thing. Let me just give a brief example, Tom. You send out a cold email.
Real quick, before you delve into that, I just want to answer this person real fast. So one of the things that happens is if you come into Reach Machine, then you do not have to continue paying monthly for your agency growth machine. So we will, if you come into the Reach program, we will, like, that's all that you'll be in. We'll cancel any other billing that you have with agency growth machine and all that stuff. So you don't have to pay for both things, because we wanted to make sure everybody in Reach had everything they needed. So we're just including it all in there. So if you're using a community resource site and you're currently paying monthly for it, whether you come in on a full pay or a flex pay, you'll only be paying for one thing, and it will include both of those. I hope I made that clear. So go ahead, Richie. I just wanted to get that out there.
Yeah, and it's a really good point. And so, but when using the Reach machine, so you send out an email blast and someone comes back and says, I'll have a free listing. The Reach machine then sends an email to either yourself or to a VA that might make those free listings for you, saying, this person has confirmed they want a free listing, please make the free listing. And so that's the kind of automation that's built into it, is that you don't have to go and check these things and everything else. That your VA straight away gets an email saying this is a task to complete. And same when they buy a featured business partner package, they take an upgrade. The next thing it does is say, hey, congratulations, that fires the invoice off to them straight away. And then if 24 hours goes by and haven't paid that invoice, it sends a reminder. It does all these things automatically for you. So all the things that you would normally have to be doing in your agency, laboring away, making sure this is done and that's done, this machine does it all for you, all of it.
Yeah. And again, we're going to be closing this down tonight. We have a few of the flex pay options available where you can get started for $397. Again, you pay a little more over the long term, but you get in for super inexpensive in the short term. And Frank, that group that I was showing, that's not a Facebook group. So all Reach members have access to a private school, SKOOL community. So if you go into your Reach members area, you will see a link in there to join the school community. And that's where all of the interactions and questions are taking place. We set that up especially for Reach.
Yeah, because there's a lot of information in it. There's a lot of things. People are at different stages and stuff as well. So having that community all together, we're able to solve things very quickly for people as well. You know, things that pop up and they just, I don't understand this, and bang, someone will point them at that. So it's worked out really
I'm in there. Richie's in there. Cameron's in. Our whole support team is in there. So, you know, our goal with Reach, and this is what Richie was talking about, like, there is a level of support from us and our team on the backside of this that, you know, we just don't really do for a lot of stuff, mainly because we just make sure everybody gets up running.
Hang on, I'm getting the Rugby World Cup is about to kick off, Tom. I don't know if you know much about rugby, but my mate Frankie, you know, the All Blacks are almost as bad as England these days. Look, I think, to be fair, I would be surprised to see England make it past a quarterfinal. You know, I mean, that's a big bow that you're drawing there. I mean, English rugby, come on.
So that season kicked off today? That season kicked off today, Richie?
No, it's the weekend after next, and the first game is New Zealand, the All Blacks versus France. So it should be very interesting. But I think we'll have a lot of people in the Sharks community who will be supporting their team, and you know, it'll it's like the Soccer World Cup, same the Football World Cup.
Gotcha.
People, all of a sudden,
tomorrow's the official kickoff for college football.
Yeah, which is, I never knew the kickoff to the season was so big here in America. But I mean, I do. I love NFL and college football. I think it's a great sport. I love watching.
My wife is going to be my wife makes the best chicken wings you'll ever have in your life, and we're making them tomorrow morning. Our game is on at 9 a.m. So we're going to be eating chicken wings at 9 a.m. It's going to be great. Hey, real quick. So if you have questions about reach, anything there, we'll get to those. I want to go through some shark shout outs, so we can do that real quick. Then we'll come back. We'll take some more questions. Again, the main thing I just want to get out there to everybody is we have a really high level of support on the backside of reach to make sure you get up running and success with this thing. That's why it's priced the way it is. That's why we have to limit the number of people that come in, all of that stuff. We did want to just do some, I know that can be out of reach for a lot of people. I know what that feels like. So we did open up a small number of flex pay options. So if you go to offlinesharks.com/email machine, you can check out the training. You can see what the options are. Just, see which one is best for you. But I would encourage everyone to get on this. Just so you guys know, like, we use this in our agency. Richie uses it in his agency. And this is the prospecting method that we are setting every Remote Millionaires member up with. So as you guys know, Remote Millionaires is our high-end coaching. We have been setting those people up with reach machines since before we kind of brought this little public group in. So this is that's the key. Like when you have an agency, you have to have consistent prospecting that's happening Monday through Friday. It has to be happening. And if you're not doing it right now, then you either have to hire somebody to do it for you, or you have to set up an automated system to do it.
Yeah.
Reach is that automated system. That's why we're pushing all of our Remote Millionaires members into setting this thing up, because instead of having to cold call and chase and run after people that may or may not buy, you just have to build a list, load the list in, and then deal with the people that are interested. And when you're only dealing with the people that are interested in what you have to sell, it's a real game changer for your confidence, for what's going on, for everything. So we'll take more questions on that. So if you have questions, go ahead and come back for that. And then I want to just go through the shout outs here real quick, Richie. So let me share my screen. And then after we do these shout outs, I'll talk a little bit about what's going on in the agency. So here we go. I'm going to share my screen. If I can get to this point, here we go. Hold on, I got to take a drink here. All right, so first up, EG Buzz. She picked up a new website build and promo plan for a Santa book to be released on Black Friday. She placed the payment for the gig on a 4-pay, $700 received.
Wow.
Awesome win, EG. Awesome win. Next up, we've got Joanne Westwood, a Remote Millionaires member. She picked up a personal assistant and increased the amount of the work she has. Joanne now took an existing client and doubled the services and sold a $5,000 website package in contest, and then sold a website as a service like the recurring revenue model.
Wow. Look, it really doesn't surprise me, Tom. Joanne is just on fire. She's so focused, laser focused, and really getting out there and getting into it. So yeah, I think there's some only big things to come from Joanne in the future. Yeah,
this is Big Al, as we call him. He's also a Remote Millionaires member. He got one deal from a text campaign. He said, even though 95% of the texts did not go out because of a compliance issue, each one of these means $100 for him. Goal on this little side project is $1,000 in net gains for him weekly. And I know I showed you that thing from his Remote Millionaires channel where he fired up the reach machine and he had 6 commitments in 45 minutes. So lots of stuff going on with Big Al. So
I think Big Al is a great example of an action taker. You know, he doesn't talk about it. He goes and does it. You know, and that's why there's only big results coming for him in the future too.
Yeah. Storm and Norman closed 4 new Google Business Profile clients, $580 each. Amazing.
Yeah. That's you see though, that's US dollars too, not Canadian. It's not a devalued currency. That's the good old greenback. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a combined total of $9,020 for the week of August 26th through September 1st. It's a grand total since the start of 2023. You all in our community have generated $1,149,388 to date. That number just keeps going up. It is awesome to see that. If you have wins, please share them in the Facebook group. If you don't, let's start taking some action. Let's start getting some wins. Let's get some in there. Let's get some traction going. We want to make 2023 the best year for you and your local marketing business. So get in there and take some action. So someone was asking about an update with the agency and what's going on in Hawaii. So I wanted to just talk about that real quick. So just so you guys know, the agency, we're moving forward, right? So as you know, the fires have shut down Lahaina. There's a lot of stuff going on in that area. We had a lot of clients that were in the tourist business in that area that were affected, that that we're not doing marketing for anymore because of that. So how have we been able to handle that in the agency? Well, one is by we've been prospecting a lot on the other islands, and lucky for us, we had a lot of recurring clients in and a good foundation and all that stuff. So there's actually you'll see us talking a little more about this as this goes on. But one of the things I wanted to bring up and what we're kind of starting to focus on in the agency right now is something that's brand new that Google is starting to roll out in search, and it's called Search Generative Experience. And basically what it is an integration between Google search and AI, and it's called SGE. Now, one of the things that we realize with this is we could, when something like this comes along, something like SGE, which is new, which is a fundamental change to the way Google is doing things, meaning that the businesses that embrace SGE the quickest are going to be the ones that get the most value, right? They're going to sort of, it's almost like, being one of the first websites when Google rolled out their initial search algorithm. You're just automatically at number one because you're the only one in there that's even doing any SEO, right? No one else is doing SEO back in the day when SEO wasn't a thing. We feel SGE is going to be that same type of a thing, that there's going to be a window where most businesses will not even know what SG is, let alone be focusing on it. And it's going to create an opportunity for our clients and our agency to really kind of step in and lead the way in Hawaii to bring this to our customers and help deliver better results. So we are really watching this closely and starting to build out these processes in the agency so that we become a leader in this. As we're doing that, we're going to be sharing that, of course, with all of you. So if you don't know what SGE is, I encourage you to Google it, take a look, see what we're talking about. You're going to be hearing a lot more about it from us as we move forward, because we really feel like this will not just be something that we add on to SEO. We feel like SGE is going to be an entirely new service that we offer in the agency. So we have SEO, and then we'll have our SGE service. And we see a huge, huge opportunity here. So if you're not familiar with what it is, Google it. Start looking in to see what it is, because we're going to be talking about it more. We're going to be building out some things inside the agency and then sharing those, of course, with the Remote Millionaires members and then with you guys as well. So that's kind of what's going on in the agency, what's been happening there.
Yeah, I think that AI trend is it's here to stay. And, if we go back 6, even 12 months, people were like, people are nervous about AI. But, it's going to kill our business. We're not going to have anything to do and stuff like that. AI is just going to create more and more opportunity. And even Google, it's the algorithm and things like Google and YouTube and those things. AI loves a good algorithm. So it's just going to continue to develop and continue to advance. And as digital agency owners, we need to stay in trend with that and abreast of the whole situation and take advantage of it. Because if we can do it, that means there's a whole lot of customers out there that don't have to worry about it. And right now, the algorithm is not finding Google Business Profiles the way it used to. It's looking at very specific local things, and about 150 different points of data is what AI is focusing on, not the old algorithm. It doesn't work the same way anymore. So we have to adapt with these things, and I think staying abreast of these things is a good idea.
It is, and never forget that strategy is always going to trump the latest. Like, look, AI is awesome. But if you don't have a good strategy, like if you don't have a good, sound, fundamental approach to generating new business, like AI is not going to save you, right? Like, so it's just important to remember that these things, SGE, AI, all that stuff, they're merely tools that help you achieve a desired result. But you have to understand what that result is you're trying to get, and you have to understand some fundamental marketing stuff. So You know, I never worry about things like AI and all that replacing people. I don't think they will, because it takes a unique perspective from someone to really see the opportunity and the angle to approach things. Now, once you've figured that part out, then AI can step in and help you, implement what your vision is. But it's going to be very hard for that stuff to kind of find those opportunities on its own. So,
well, just remember, Tom, that on the 29th, 28th, 29th of August, which was this week, Skynet became self-aware. So
that's right. Hey, we got to make a lot of money while they're around.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. So, any questions? Does anybody have any questions on anything? So remember, again, the Reach Cold email machine, we're closing that down tonight. We opened up a few flex pay packages, meaning that you can get in for only $397 today. You are going to pay a little more over time than if you just, do the one-time payment, but you can get in if budget is an issue. That way you can get up and running and get some consistent prospecting going and some deals churning. So if you guys haven't already, go to offlinesharks.com/email machine. Check that out. I know one other thing we always like to do on this live show, and that is this.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling, chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
I love it, Richie. I love it. I can't see the comments. Can somebody from the team pick a couple of random winners there and let me know? Shishan, I don't see them inside our channel. All right, here we go. The lucky Cash App winners today are Frank the Tank and Carissa Dobson.
Oh, yeah.
Frank and Carissa. The team's going to send you some Cash App money. You can either post your credentials in the chat or they'll reach out to you and get that going. And then I want to go back and see what other that money song. It always gets us fired up. Patty, Skynet was the evil artificial intelligence in the Terminator franchise.
Yeah, and in the movie, it was actually I'm pretty sure it was the 28th of August. Skynet became self-aware at 2 a.m.
That was when they did it. Yeah,
it's the end of the world. Yeah.
Yeah. David says, I just got started with Offline Sharks Alliance Plus with the Reach product accelerator ability to get into profit. David, yes. So there's a lot of amazing training inside the Shark Alliance Plus, but the Reach machine does a very specific thing, and that is it automates the prospecting process for you. So I would encourage everyone that can to get a Reach machine set up and running. That's what we're doing that's what we tell all of our remote millionaire students to do now. That's what we're in the process of doing with them. Everyone needs to have one set up because it really does change the prospecting game and really makes it easy for somebody that's new and doesn't have any credibility out of the gate. Just like the Y2. Yeah, Patty says she never saw Terminator. That's all good, Patty. That's all good. Awesome. Well, listen, what a great live show. You guys are awesome. You had a lot of smart questions. I don't see any other questions coming in. Sam says, I've been super impressed with Reach and support from Richie and Dorn. Yeah, those guys are killing it, aren't they? They're doing excellent. Oh, yes, Sandy. We will set up the community resource website for you.
Mm.
So we will set up.
Yeah, there's a big team. There's a big support team and in the Reach program, and it's all about, because there's a lot to work through. It's not a case of you buying the product and then going, right, I just wait for the customers to roll in. There's a shared workload involved, but the effort put into that actually reaps rewards. And it's been proven time and time again.
And the part that they really have to do, Richie, is the minimal part, right? Like we do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. We'll set up the Reach machine. We'll set up the community resource website. Really what the effort that you're going to put into this is, one, building a list, your initial list, two, making sure your community resource site looks good when people go there, right? Yep. And three, having knowing what service you're going to be selling on the back. By the way, we cover all of that stuff in I don't even really want to call it training, because when you get into Reach, the whole point of the videos in the members area is to walk you through each action step until your Reach machine is up and running. So, it really is it really is set up in a way to help you achieve success. And then, of course, we're there. Richie's there. Dorn's there. All those guys are there to help you as well. So, Barry, you can watch that training recap as well. Sure. I think that's just like a shortened version of the training recap, or you can just go to offlinesharks.com/email machine.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, listen, thanks for hanging out with us. What an awesome live show. We'll be back here next Friday, same shark time, same shark channel. Until then, stay safe out there. Practice aloha, and we'll see you later. Bye, everybody.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
You've been watching the Aloha Marketing Jam Session, your weekly marketing live show, always bringing you the latest strategies and tactics to build your remote empire from anywhere in the world. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. You can stay up to date throughout the week with the Remote Millionaires Podcast at remotemillionaires.com/podcast and Nick's YouTube videos at nickponte.com/YouTube. We'll be back here next Friday for another live show. Until then, aloha.